So I had a client call yesterday afternoon and said, how do I know the length of the bracket? And I says, well, that'll be in the installation instructions. And because it was actually after hours for me, I couldn't look at the installation instructions at that moment, but the client very agreeably would send me an email. Well, the client did send some photos of what they're working on actually. I then went to the installation instructions and discovered, oh no, it's not obvious at all. So I happen to have the 10-inch without apron version of the drop leaf support, and I just did a job, pardon me, I built a drop leaf desk. It happened to be for myself. I needed a drop leaf desk for an application that I have in a warehouse, and I had never installed these before, and I was extremely impressed with the quality of this material. Okay, so the question is how do we know the length? Let's check that out. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So let's measure this, and I will grab the one for with an apron, and we'll switch to the screen view and I'll show you what that means in case you're not sure. So I'm going to guess that the length is just pivot point to pivot point, is my logical guess. And this is the 10-inch version. Yeah. And, well, it's not exactly pivot point to pivot point. It's close. You might say that it's 10-inch from the end of the bracket, as I'm holding it here, down to the pivot point. So that's 10-inch. Reasonably so. Let's put it here and see if I get a better feel for it. Yeah, it's about 9 5/8. 9 9/16 pivot point to pivot point, but this is what they call the 10-inch version. You know, it could be like a 3-foot door. Do they actually measure 36-inch? Yeah, they do sometimes, but not in the commercial world. So that could be a nominal size. But that's the logic that we're dealing with here. So 9 9/16 pivot point to pivot point is what I'm coming up with. What I had discovered, and by the time you're seeing this video, you won't, my custom drop leaf project video will not be live. I'm actually not technically done with the installation. What I did learn was the back end of my desk was about 10.5 inch. I then had maybe about 16-inch worth of drop leaf. Okay, 16-inch, something like that. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Now, I had started out with the 8-inch version, and there's no apron on my desk. I had started out with the 8-inch version and got the two pieces of desk glued up, put on the CNC, cut real nice. I'm ready to go. Took them off, put them on the layup table, turned them over. I basically put number 10 washers between the two pieces to space them. Put my piano hinge underneath, attached all of that, and put that 8-inch on there based on the correct dimension from the axis of pivoting to where the bracket needs to mount, 1 3/4, 2-inch, whatever it is. And I was like, whoa, I want a longer unit. I want a longer drop leaf support. The longest that we had at the time was 10-inch, so that's what I installed. The only thing I didn't like about it is that the back end, the fixed part of the desk is quite solid. But I have a little bit of decline on the leading edge. Now it's for me, so it's okay. And when I sit and put my forearms on it to work, rock solid. If it was for a customer, I would have gone with the widest that I could get. I would have gone with 14-inch or whatever I could order to brace that so that it was as level as possible. So that would be my experience about that. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look. If you've made it this far into this video, you must be determined to see it through to the end, and we appreciate your hanging in there with us and watching this entire video. It means a lot. It takes a lot of work to create these videos in the sense that, you know, it's time taken away from doing other things. However, the advantage for me personally of creating these videos is the fact that it does allow myself to either learn about something new, to reacquaint myself with something, or to reinforce what I believe that I already know. Any comments that you might leave down below would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at the documents that we have. So I've got the 10-inch right here, and there's an 8-inch as well. So that's the longest one that I have. The documents I was referring to the client were here. And so here's an apron. What we're doing is the one without the apron. So without table apron, 8 or 10, there's really no way to know what the deal is. Roughly 10 inch from the outside here to about the outside here. So pivot point to pivot point is about 9 9/16. So I'd assume the same logic goes for the 8-inch. But that's the answer. Let's look at the other document, instructions. And when I installed these just 2 weeks ago, I literally followed this. Literally, exactly. I knew the thickness of my washer. I struck a line from the edge of my tabletop to the bracket minus half of the thickness of the washer. I knew I was then going to have the pivot point, the axis of pivoting. I didn't install the piano hinge this way. That would have, I could have. That would have taken more routing than I was interested in doing. You know, it's just drawn incorrectly in my opinion. The B dimension, 2 3/4. So now you can see if I'm roughly at 10-inch out here, and I've lost 2 3/4, 7 1/4. Yeah, you can see where I really would have wanted to have pushed that out much further. It's acceptable, it works, and I'll tell you, when you snap, and there's 2 of them on there obviously, when you snap them in place, they are positive, they are sure, they're good. I'm really happy with these. So that is the version as to how you go about determining the length. Walters of Wabash. In the website, you can click here, and from this link you can pull up all of the Walter of Wabash products that we sell. If you're looking for material that's not here, I'm probably not going to be able to help you. I've actually never, I buy this all through wholesale. I've never been able to make direct contact with Walter of Wabash. They have a lot of products like expanding table leaf rack sort of sliding systems. I know that they're out there. I just don't have access to it. Drop leaf supports is all that we really can do from Walter of Wabash. Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders. Thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.